When we imagine the Danube Swabians, we often focus on the Great Migration that brought thousands of German-speaking settlers into the Habsburg frontier. But what happened after they arrived? Over generations, they transformed marshlands and war-torn border regions into thriving villages filled with farms, churches, schools, and vibrant cultural traditions. Today we step inside these communities to explore what daily life looked like for the families who lived there and what traces they left behind for genealogists today. The Danube Swabians settled areas including the Banat, Bachka, Syrmia, and neighboring regions after the Habsburg Empire reclaimed them from Ottoman control. Many villages were not accidental settlements. They were carefully planned by imperial authorities. Surveyors laid out roads, divided land into parcels, and designed communities with practical layouts that allowed farming families to thrive. For genealogists, this organization is incredibly important because those same land divisions often appear in historical records and cadastral maps. A Danube Swabian village had a distinctive appearance. Many homes were arranged in long rows along broad streets. A family's property often stretched far behind the house, creating space for barns, livestock, gardens, and agricultural work. The church and village square served as the heart of community life. This structured environment means that genealogists can often identify exactly where ancestors lived through house numbers, land records, and maps. Farming dictated nearly every aspect of life. Families rose with the sun and followed a seasonal rhythm of planting, harvesting, preserving food, and caring for animals. Children were part of the workforce from an early age, learning skills that would eventually allow them to inherit and maintain family farms. The agricultural success of these communities helped transform the Danube frontier into one of the most productive regions of the Habsburg Empire. Danube Swabian architecture reflected both German traditions and the realities of frontier life. The homes were practical but often beautifully decorated with painted details, carved gates, and carefully maintained gardens. A single property was not simply a home, it was a complete economic unit containing living spaces, work areas, storage, and livestock facilities. Religion shaped nearly every stage of life. The church was not only a place of worship, but also a center for education, social gatherings, and community identity. For genealogists, church records are among the most valuable sources available. A single baptismal entry may reveal parents, grandparents, godparents, occupations, and the exact village where a family lived. Danube Swabian cuisine tells the story of migration. The settlers brought German food traditions with them but adapted to the ingredients and neighboring cultures of southeastern Europe. Family recipes were passed down through generations and often survived migration to places such as the United States, Canada, and South America. For many descendants today, food remains one of the strongest connections to their Danube Swabian identity. Music and celebrations strengthened community bonds. Village festivals marked the agricultural calendar, religious holidays, marriages, and important life events. Traditional songs and dances helped preserve a German identity, even while living among many different ethnic groups. These traditions continued even after many Danube Swabians were displaced during the 20th century. The Danube frontier was one of Europe's most diverse regions. A single person might speak German at home, conduct business in Hungarian, and encounter Serbian or Romanian neighbors in everyday life. This multilingual environment creates challenges for genealogists, because the same ancestor may appear under several different spellings or translations of a name. Understanding historical languages is essential for successful research. The organization of Danube Swabian villages created a remarkable paper trail. Because families remain tied to particular houses and farms for generations, records can often be connected across time. Church books record births, marriages, and deaths. Civil registrations provide additional government records. Cadastral maps show the physical landscape where ancestors lived. And in border regions known as the military frontier, military records can reveal information about families who served as frontier soldiers. For descendants researching their Danube Swabian ancestry, the journey begins with a village name. Once you discover that village, you can explore its church records, maps, families, and centuries of history. The villages may have changed, and many communities were scattered by the tragedies of the 20th century, but the records they created continue to tell the stories of the people who once walked their streets. Thank you for joining me as we explored the daily lives of the Danube Swabian people communities built through hard work, faith, family, and a deep connection to the land. If you enjoyed this journey into Danube Swabian heritage, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with others researching their roots, and follow Ancestral Spotlight for more stories of history, genealogy, and the people who came before us.